Okay, so today we're gonna take off these hard water spots. I don't know if you can see that line right there, but it's etched into the glass a little bit in a few different places on my glass. So I'm gonna take that off, and then also in the front there's hard water spots. You can't really see them on the car too bad, but they're there on the front windshield, and it's really hard to see them, but when you're inside you could see them. It's kind of dusty right now. I just washed the car, but within about 30 minutes dust got on it. So I'm gonna fix that with using this Gertz buffer. I'm using microfiber, and then this acid that I'm using is actually a gel, and it's by Driven Premium Acid Gel. This is for hard water spots and calcium for your bathtubs and stuff. So I'm gonna use that for that window, and it recommends to squirt it with water. So you spray water on your pad or whatever you're using to get it lubricated. This isn't detail cleaner. I'm just using the bottle. There's nothing in it besides water. And then also a towel to wipe it off. So as you can see, I marked on it glass, and then on the back side I marked on it acid. So it's glass acid, and then don't use on the opposite end. And then let's see, so it says acid glass cleaner on it. You want to make sure that you the product we're going to use mark that is by Driven. It's an acid gel, and it's for your bathtubs, showers, and sinks. So it removes hard water spots, calcium, and all that stuff. Then you want to pair it with some water. So you squirt the water on and use that along with your whatever you're going to use to buff it off. Make sure you wear gloves. It is acid, and it will burn you. This is not Meguiar's Quick Detailer. I'm using the bottle. Also, you're going to need a towel to wipe it off. Make sure you mark it like I did, so that way you don't use this on your paint. And then if you come over here, we're using the Gertz or Gyrots. I don't know how you pronounce that. No big deal, because it's whatever buffer you have, and a microfiber. The reason why I chose a microfiber is it's for when you're polishing your vehicle. It's used on both waxes and compounds to buff your paint. And I like this one for this application only because it's really thin, so you can apply as much pressure as you want without having the foam give. So we're gonna run that. We're gonna do a few takes on this and see what happens. So make sure you wash your vehicle first, wash the glass, and then apply this stuff on it. So this is what we're gonna do right now. We'll see what happens. I'll run you through the process as I put it on. I do not have a stand right now to hold the camera, so I'm gonna apply it, and then I'm gonna video it after each step. You want to make sure you shook the this stuff real well, it says. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply it in small areas, so 3 little spots. And then I'm gonna spray with my water. I'm gonna just give it a few squirts just to lubricate the pad, and then from there what I'm gonna do is take it, and then I'm gonna dab it on an area, so like that. Spread it, and then I'm gonna run the let me set this down real quick, and then I'm gonna run this machine on it, and then I'm gonna use a spray it on there, and then once I spray it on there, I'm gonna wipe it off. So let's see the results it gives. Pad, and kind of hazes up. So if you look right here, you can see it hazing. And now from here, all you're gonna do is spray some water on it, So just spray your water on it and then wipe it off. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So once you spray the water and you wipe it off, be sure you don't use this towel on anything else, and try not to get it on your paint. It kind of smells like it has a weird smell to it. It's almost like I want to say like a minty smell. So if you guys ever use frog lube for like guns and stuff to lube up the action, it smells identical to that. But when you run it, what I did was, after I turned it on, I started it at number 1. I placed this after I dabbed it all over, I placed this directly on the window and then turned it on. If you don't, it's gonna fling all that stuff all over your paint. So make sure it's on your window when you turn it on, and then leave it on number 1. As soon as you start blending all the chemical in, so that stuff, as soon as you blend it all into the window and it distributes all through the window and it hazes up, you could turn it on to like 2 or 3 and finish your process. You don't want to go any faster because it'll start slinging little powder like this all around, and you don't want that on your paint either. So let me finish up this window and then show you the finished product. So as you can see, it's hazed up on there. So I smeared it across, dabbed it, and all this positioning around here. And then I took the buffer and I went across it like that to let it kind of sit in. So once it's on there, I'll let it sit and kind of tack up a little bit or dry up. As you can see, it turns into like a little powdery substance, a little bit powdery, and it dropped in somewhere in there in the cracks and stuff. So that's why I said turn it on number 1 so it doesn't fling that stuff everywhere. So after it's like that, now you're going to take your buffing pad or whatever you're going to use and then really get into it. So that way now it buffs that acid into your window and then removes it. So let's get it off of there, and then we'll see the finish half of this side of the window, and then I'll show you the full preview of this window and the rear. So we're going to copy this the same process that we're doing here to the back window, and then I'll show you all of them. But as you can see, I have my sun visor in there, and this is the tinted window, so I don't know if you can see very good, but it does block out a lot of the sun, and then see straight through it. But when you're up at an angle like this, as you can see my reflection, this window looks really pitch black. It looks pitch black on the video, but it looks even more pitch black in person. But when you're at eye level and you can see the other side, it does brighten up pretty easily. But as for the back side, you can't see nothing. So let me see. I'll open it up so that way you can see what the tint looks like from the inside. So that's what it looks like from the inside. As you can see, it's really easy to see through. It looks almost like there's really no tint. So it's real easy to see through. And once again, these are 35 on the side windows here. And then I did the front 50. And then I did these little quarter paneled ones. I did those 5%, and then the rear 5%. But let's get to finishing up this. So here's the after. Seeing the overall. As you can see, there is no water spots at all. One thing to remember when doing this, do it in the shade so that way you don't get no swirl reflections on the mirror, because the sun's kind of beating down even though it's 80 degrees, and I had to take some glass cleaner to get rid of the hazing that the sun was doing to the chemical. Once I buffed it all off, it would be like a haze almost like if something was kind of like when you spray glass cleaner in the sun, and when you go wipe it off, it like turns into like a haze on your windshield. That's what it was doing with the chemical as well. So make sure that when you do it in the shaded area, so that way you don't have no issues. So I took a terry cloth towel and rubbed that out, and it came off, but it was a pain in the butt. But as far as the windshield goes, it's pretty good. If this video was helpful, or you use the product and you got different results or better results, just throw it down in the comments and let everybody know your experience with it. So if you like this video, or you want to see more videos like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, so on this truck, as you can see, there's a lot more water spots on this windshield. So you can see it in the corner. And we tried to take it off of here. It's more severe. And we tried a little sample in this corner. I don't know if you could see that, but you could see right in this area. We just took a terry cloth and some of that acid, and it took it right off. So even by hand, it'll take off the hardest water spots really easy. So this is just another perspective on something that's more severe on the windshield or the rear window, and the results you get. So there's water spots, and then there's none, and then there's water spots. So we'll do this windshield as well at a later time. But so just a real quick way to clean your towels once you're done washing your car. What I did was I used soap from washing your car, poured some in there with scorching hot water. Same thing with this. I'm keeping my windshield towels away from the towels that I use to dry the car, only so that way the dirt doesn't mix. I want the windshield ones to stay a lot cleaner. But as we can tell, just by doing this, you could see it's really dark brown. Like you can see all that dirt come out of it. So you know that's cleaning it real good, especially with the hot water. So once I'm done washing these, do the same for these ones. Once you're done doing this to this, do the same thing with your rim towel, but make sure it doesn't go in these same buckets. I cleaned them all. I poured out the water, refilled it with some more hot water, this time without soap, so that way I could get the soap out of the towels. And then once you're done doing this portion of it, what you want to do is you want to hang them up, spray them down with some the water hose with some cold water, and then just let them wring them out and then let them dry. You can see I rinsed them out. Use the water hose, and then I hung them to dry here. I didn't put them in direct sunlight, so that way it doesn't make your towels hard, and they dry easily in the shade, and they don't get all hard and crunchy, so you don't scratch your paint when you dry your car the next time. If you leave them in the sun, they'll get really stiff, so keep them in the shade when they dry. And also you can put them in like the dryer and stuff. The reason why I'm doing it by hand is so that way it doesn't contaminate your washer and dryer at home. You can take it to the laundromat to have them washed, but you know, that's kind of screwed up if somebody else has their clothes in there and you know, your car stuff kind of screws their clothes up, the next person that uses it. So that's why I don't take it there. I just do it by hand. You could take it to the dryer and dry it at the laundromat because you already took all the contaminants or your waxes, your acid, window wash or window cleaner and stuff. You already soaked up and took all those contaminants in the towel already off. So this is a lot easier and faster because you don't have to drive everywhere. So if this was a helpful tip, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more helpful tips and more car. So that way I know this towel is for the car, and then I labeled this on glass so that way you know that this is only for the glass. For people who don't know the color coordination here, I bought the gray ones with the gray rim for my car, and then I bought the black rimmed ones for the glass. But in case somebody picks it up and doesn't know, to keep your towels from getting ruined, just label the corners of them, and also so you know what you use them for. So that's why I also, for the ones that I use for the glass itself with the acid, I labeled it with, I put acid and then I put windshield, so that way you know